When you work with variables in your VBA code, you should define them so they can store the data you want to work with. Access VBA has several data types, which I'm going to summarize in the following 3 slides. The first 4 data types on this slide all deal with numbers that do not have a decimal component. Byte stores numbers from 0 to 255, and Boolean, which is used in Boolean logic, can be either true or false, and that's often represented as either 0 or 1. And then integer and long can store numbers in the ranges that you see there. If you want to work with numbers that have decimal components, you have several options. The first is called single, and you can see the range there, it's quite large. If you need to work with absolutely incredibly large numbers, you can use double. It's unlikely that you would need to use the double data type in your typical Access programming application, but you might, so it's there if you want to use it. Next you have the currency data type, and that has 4 digits to the right of the decimal point. And the reason it has 4 digits to the right is that if you multiply 2 currency values, which typically have either 1 or 2 places to the right of the decimal, then you can have up to 4 places to the right. So that's a special data type used for currency. Then you have the decimal type, which can handle the values that you see listed on the slide. And again, it's quite a large range. Next, you have data types that handle other types of data. So for example, you can have a date from January 1 of the year 100 to December 31, 9999. Then you can have an object, and an object refers to something within the Access database. So it can be a table, it can be a form, it can be a report, something like that. We'll use it a lot during this course. And then you have 4 more data types. The first 2 of those are strings, and you can either have a string of variable length or a string of fixed length. I almost always use a string of variable length, so bear in mind that you can define a variable as a fixed length string, but you probably will not need to. The last 2 data types are called variants, and Access defines a variable of the variant type when you don't tell it what type of variable it is. In other words, if you type in a number and it doesn't know whether it's a double, a single, an integer, or what, it assigns it the variant type, and because it's a number, it has the same value range as the double data type. In other words, the largest possible. It does something similar for characters. If you have a string that you type into a variable but you haven't defined that variable's type, then it defines it as a character variant and gives it the same length as the variable length string type. If you're not sure what type of data you're going to get or be using for a particular variable, then you can define your variables as a variant type yourself. The data types available in Access VBA let you optimize your code by declaring exactly what type of data each variable will contain. The speed of most modern computers means your program's performance won't suffer too greatly if you make every variable a variant. However, if you go on to learn other programming languages, you will find that many of them do require you to assign your variables a type, so it's a good habit to pick up now.